I just received the new stepper motor for my C.N.C machine. It's a Nema 34 stepper motor. It is nice and beefy. 1200 newton meters. Not newton meters, that's crazy. Ounce inches. That's more reasonable. In comparison, here's a Nema 23 motor. Some smaller C.N.C machines use that. Here's a Nema 11 motor. Most 3D printers use these things. There's a bunch of wires, but you get the point. It's small compared to the Nema 34. I currently have it at 24 volt, 5 amp power supply. It's meant to carry 36 or 48 volts at 6 amps, but this should suffice until I get a better power supply. So how I have the stepper motor wired up is I have 24 volts, 5 amps going to power. I'm guessing you can figure out how to wire that. I have stepper wire wired to A positive, A negative, B positive, B negative. You can just tell the different coils by seeing with the multimeter. You can look it up, it's pretty simple. And then I have pulse positive, wired up to pulse positive on an Arduino for the GRBL firmware. And then pulse negative is wired to ground. Where it hit some problems was for direction. To get it to work, I had to get 5 volts to direction positive, and then I wired up the signal for direction on the GRBL firmware. I wired that up to direction negative instead. And that's, if you don't do it that way, in my experience, the stepper motor won't wire both ways. It won't spin both ways. It'll just spin in one direction. On my laptop, I have the universal G-code sender up, and it's connected to the Arduino. So I should be able to move the Y-axis, and that will spin the stepper motor, as you can see. Here is the stepper motor more up close. I have 2 spacers here to space it off from the C.N.C mount, which you will see later. Here's a 14mm to 10mm shaft, flexible shaft adapter. It has both clamping and, can't spin it, but set screw. No, it's not the set screw. There's the set screw. Because this is a keyed stepper motor, I have the set screw going into the key, because it's not a keyed shaft adapter. Should probably work. Probably. Hopefully. And here is the motor spinning more close. And it works. Now to mount that to the C.N.C. It turns out that my shaft couplers were too long, basically by the length of this chamfer on here. So I'm just gonna quick turn that down on the lathe. I have it in a four-jaw chuck. It's not perfect, it's a couple thou, like, eccentric, whatever. It's not perfect in there, but I'm just turning it down a little bit. So, let's get turning. Got the stepper motor mounted on there, so now I'm just gonna move it back and forth. And touchscreen's failing me. Are you touchscreen? There you go. That's As you can see, it works, sort of. This is what the X and Z axis looks like. We only have the X axis there motorized, but it's more broad, like what it looks like when it's moving. I still need to learn more about how to tune it so it moves exactly 1 inch, because I don't really know the threads of these ball screws, because I didn't buy them. I took them off an old machine.